Ross Bolen Podcast.
You better listen.
Welcome back to the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, back again as always with your co-host, Chris Coulson.
Howdy, gang. How we doing today? Happy Wednesday. How you doing, Ross?
You know I'm good.
Did you miss me?
I did for 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was the longest we've been apart since you were hired.
It is, actually. Well, yeah, actually, no, it definitely is.
I won't lie to you, I awoke in the middle of the night screaming.
Yeah, when I woke up in my bed this morning, I was like, holy shit, where's Ross? That was
Yeah.
my first thought.
Yeah.
Not that we usually sleep in the same bed. That's like a once-a-week thing, but like...
Usually.
Yeah, usually. You never know. But no, it was great being home. If you didn't know, gang, I went home for the last 3 days, 2 nights. I left after we recorded on Monday, and I came back today. It was great to see the family. Got to see some friends I was in town, and specifically my dog, my pug, Otis.
Your Otis?
My Otis. I wish he was my Otis. I wish he was here. He's gotten thicker. Mama Coulson's been feeding him the table scraps too often.
Thick boy Otis. He's what is he?
A pug.
Pug.
He is a 1.5-year-old pug who now weighs
Chunk.
like probably 27 pounds.
Chunk.
I think pugs are supposed to be around like 16 to 19.
27 pounds?
26 pounds last time. Maybe like 23. I don't, he's thick boy, dude. I sent you a video or a picture.
That's like problematic thick. That's like,
Nah, he still got the moves on him though.
that's obese.
The funny thing is though, sometimes he doesn't fully understand gravity yet. So like he'll corner, but he won't angle
What
into
do you mean
the
yet?
I don't know if he'll ever figure it out. He might
Yeah,
be a little
that's-
special, I'll be honest. Or it might just be
Hey,
all
I got
pugs.
one of those.
It might just be all pugs, but definitely him. He's got
Bruce
something.
thinks the animals in the television are real,
That's true.
and he's been alive for 6 years.
He also wants to jump into the television. I think he thinks that if he got there, like if he were to jump up and make it that far, he would go right in.
No, bro, he thinks they're in the house. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
He
It's
used
like
to
a
run
portal.
from the room where the TV was into the room on the other side of it, thinking like it continued and they were back there.
It's a portal. He thinks it's a portal. He's just trying to get into the game. EA Sports, you're in the game, you know? Anyways.
He's blessed.
Otis doesn't fully understand gravity, so he'll attempt to corner at a high speed, but will not corner with
love
enough
this
angle
move.
leaning into it.
Love this move
So he
from
just kind of
doggos.
rolls out of it. Like
Yeah.
he starts it and then he's just gone. But he is a quick boy. I'll give him that. He's got the moves. He's got the speed.
So you were briefly home in North Carolina.
I was.
You flew there though. You didn't drive.
I did via airplane, not like Tesla's space shuttle or helicopter or anything. Just to clarify.
Or like Rocket Man pack on your back.
Didn't do that either. I wish if I had one of those, I would absolutely Rocket Man pack.
What are those called?
Jetpacks.
Jetpacks? Not a jetpack. I haven't been to the airport in 2020. So what
When
the
is the
fuck was
last-
that like?
It was really odd. It was shockingly busier than I was expecting. Like the Charlotte airport today looked like a normal day at the Charlotte airport.
Yeah, but you know how everywhere you go in 2020, like the grocery store, there's all these things that are different about it now, right? There's all these masked people everywhere. There's all this,
Well,
I
you have
assume the
your
airport
different-
is significantly different.
You have your different layers to it. Well, they have like you have to stay 6 feet apart when you're in lines and everything like that.
Oh,
of course.
shit.
You're supposed to, but like everybody just kind of can. Like
Does
I
their
didn't
own-
like it. People were getting too much in my space on my back multiple times, and I'm not a very confrontational person, so I didn't really say anything.
Yeah,
But
I
was
want to
like,
be
"Dude,
like,
give me
sir,
some
you're at
space."
4 feet, sir. You need to take one full step back.
Yeah, exactly.
You're at 4 feet. We need 6 minimum. We've just been told, in fact, that this might not. That this, they can linger in the air now.
You know what I feel
I
for
saw
though?
a report on the news.
You know what the hardest
That if I sneeze into the air, it can just fucking stick there. And then if you walk through it, like within X amount of time, you're fucked. It doesn't even matter that we were 6 feet apart.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
It just hangs out?
Saw it on the news, bro.
Is it fake news?
Like the real news.
Real news?
Well, the realest version we have,
Sure,
one of them,
sure. As we all know,
on television.
The hardest job at the airport is being a mother with multiple children, of course. That has definitely been exponentialized by the pandemic. Try keeping 4 kids with their masks on the entire time
Oh, God.
while you're in the airport. I
Oh,
saw
God.
2 different families with like young children. Oh, it looked like hell on earth, dude. Shouts to the moms and dads out there having to deal with that shit, because hell no, I could not.
You know who has the easiest job in the airport?
No, who?
People who work at Popeyes in the airport.
Dude, Popeyes was closed in the Austin airport.
Because Popeyes, regular Popeyes, the training is like very minimal, and you're supposed to fuck up like 1 in 3 orders, right? At the airport Popeyes, you literally are fired if you serve the correct food. You're immediately taken out back and shot.
I got you.
You have to give the incorrect food, and then when people come to complain, you just have to fucking wile on them.
You're just like, you're at a fucking Popeyes
Like, you want to fucking go?
Popeyes,
like,
come on.
squirting hot sauce in their eyes.
Really?
Like,
wow.
you have to assault the customer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Airport Popeyes, very lax job.
We don't
A lot
have
of violence,
Popeyes
though.
back home, so we don't have an airport Popeyes. But I did get Bojangles on my way back today, which I was stoked about. I miss me some Bojangles. It was quite delicious.
Don't know what that is.
But you'll see like levels to it. Like you have like level 1, which is the person that's wearing like the
Level 1.
the gator thing. You know what I mean? Just like the little fly fishing mask that just goes up around their face. Then you have like level 2 that's wearing more of the medical style surgical mask. And then you have people that are like at the top that are wearing the gloves. I saw one lady in a hazmat suit, not a full one, but like a microbial all white like
Oh, shit.
one of those bad boys.
Good for her.
The gloves. Also, the lady that sat across from me on the first flight, she had her own thing of hand sanitizer, and when she got onto the flight before sitting down, she just like squirted it all over her seat, and then was just like rubbing it in with her gloves.
Does
on the
that
seat.
even work?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but it was quite comical to see.
What a nightmare.
And then she was like standing above it trying to like air it out because it was soaking wet. It
What a
was
fucking nightmare. Like, movies about shit like this used to be tight, right? Because it's like, man, if that happened. But, like, the reality of it is very boring.
It is
like, none of
very
us can do
boring.
anything. And if we do, it's like, I mean, it could be a comedy. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
A woman in gloves rubbing hand sanitizer, God knows what type of alcohol, into an airplane seat in an effort to sanitize it when she's about to sit in a fucking giant fart box filled with everybody else's breath spit.
So that's my thing about the plane is like
It's
I
over,
feel like
bro.
once
Like,
you're
if
in
somebody
there,
on the
it's
plane
done.
has
You're
it, it's
done.
over.
Yeah, like what?
Right?
Even though everybody has their masks on, I mean, I feel like
It
your
feels
odds
like
just
it's,
go
I don't know
so
shit.
much up.
Plain air filtration systems, maybe they're better than I'm giving them credit for, but it seems like that's the worst place to be with somebody who has COVID is literally in an airplane.
I've seen some of them have like a disinfectant mist that sprays out of the top when you like take before
Oh,
you
I don't
take
like
off,
that.
and then when you land.
Don't
No.
delouse me, baby.
No, it looks like toxic gas like leaking into the cabin.
Oh, don't
it's
like
terrifying.
that. See, any type of situation where, like, look, I realize every room we're in has air being pumped into it,
you
like
can't see
air-conditioned
that.
air, but I can't see it. Any visible air being pumped into a room,
Slightly
I'm
terrifying,
out. I've
right?
seen too many James Bond movies when everyone falls asleep, and the next thing you know,
They're naked.
no, you've slept with Bond.
Oh, wow. Whoa. James Bond.
Serial
is-
rapist.
Wow. I didn't know that. I was
No,
not
I'm
aware.
Just kidding. But does definitely have some creepy sexual vibes in some of the old school James Bond movies.
Yeah, but I mean, most 50s movies about like a
Well,
guy.
they went
kinda
hard
thing.
with it.
Yeah. But, pro tip. if
And
you are gonna
Bond girls
fly-
were just dying left and fucking right. I mean, left and fuck. They still are. Hell, being a Bond girl is like a death sentence.
And then he just moves on, too. He just, they never
They just
talk
get
about
another
him
one
again.
for the next movie. They don't give a shit.
They
Like,
literally don't even mention it. It's just like, oh, and this is your new partner. It's like, well, didn't the last, like, 17 die?
literally, the
Don't
Daniel
think about
Craig
that. Don't think
Bond
about that.
is the first one where they actually got into like why he is the way he is with women. Like they were like, fuck, we've got to put some kind of storyline in here for why the last 40 years of James Bond has just been him like screwing chicks and then they die.
Yeah.
Like the opposite of that what's Dane Cook movie where you don't know who Dane Cook is, so you don't know the movie. It's like Lucky something. Dane Cook, Lucky. Dane Cook, Lucky.
It's just called Good
Good
Luck,
Luck
Chuck.
where if he sleeps with a woman, then the next person they meet, they
Wait,
fall in
holy
love
shit.
with.
I've definitely
See,
seen
you know
this
who Dane
movie.
Cook is.
So I do know
You
who
do know
Dane
who
Cook
Dane
is.
Cook is.
Holy shit.
Shouts to Dane Cook. He
It only-
transcended into the Gen Z scum.
It only got a 5.6 on That's like if
Oh,
you're
Chris,
below a
it's
6.
not a good movie,
If
Chris.
you're below a 6.
The premise is that he fucks
very
women, and then those women fall in love with the next person that they sleep with or something. So he's like a good luck charm, and then they use
yeah, it says
him.
cursed since childhood. Dentist Charlie Kagan,
Dentist.
Dane Cook, cannot find the right woman. Even worse, he learns that each of his ex-girlfriends finds true love with the man she meets right after her relationship with him ends. How sad. How brutal. Jessica Alba's in it, though.
But
so.
women find out about it, and they start. I think they maybe even are paying. I don't know
Him?
if they're paying. If it's a male prostitute
Wow.
situation.
A little gigolo action.
I don't want to
going on?
say things I don't know.
Understandable.
I do know that the easiest job in the airport is working at Popeyes.
Also, last pro tip about the airport, make sure you bring gum because you're going to have that mask on the entire time. And you don't want that. You don't want that, recycling of that stank breath.
Hell no. You don't.
Not at all.
You know what you do want when you go to the airport? You want to make sure you've got, you don't want to know?
I do want to know.
Comfortable socks.
Oh, yeah,
Unfortunately, RBP 334 is brought to you by Bombas. Bombas makes the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. They've literally rethought every little detail of the socks we wear to make them way more comfortable. I wear their performance running socks every single time I go running. Their performance running socks are incredible. Literally the best and most comfortable running socks I've ever worn in my life. They've got dope designs, so many styles, ankle socks, no show, performance running. They have it all in the highest quality with the best comfort, and y'all know I know socks. Last year was the year of the sock on this show, for fuck's sake, and I'm telling you, it doesn't get better or more comfy than Bombas. But these socks do more than keep your feet cozy. They give back to the most vulnerable members of our community because for every pair of socks you purchase, Bombas donates a pair to someone in need. The generosity of Bombas customers has allowed them to donate over 34 million pairs of socks and counting through their nationwide network of 3,000 giving partners, and the impact is more powerful than ever. To those experiencing homelessness, these socks represent the dignity of putting on clean clothes, a small comfort that's especially important right now, obviously. So give a pair when you buy a pair and get 20% off your first purchase at Bombas when you go to bombas.com/RBP. That's BOMBAS.com/RBP for 20% off your first purchase. Give a pair when you buy a pair. Bombas.com/RBP. Time for some announcements and shouts. Coles, you have one to start it off. Go.
Happy birthday to my best friend Autumn. And congrats on being the last person in the friend group to finally turn 21. I'm so proud of you.
She's the baby.
She made it. Yeah, she is the baby. I mean, she's in our grade, but turns 20. She's one of those people that
I was one of those. Real young. Real young.
Really?
Yeah.
My sister is.
I always enjoyed it being younger in my grade.
Yeah, you have lots to learn, But it sucks.
I feel like it worked better with girls for some reason. I don't know why. I think that. It's in my head.
Worked better.
It worked well with girls that I was younger than everybody else.
Maybe it boosted your maturity level. They're like, oh, he's only
How
X.
it boosted would be the opposite.
That's what I'm saying. If you're just as mature as the people that are a whole year older than you, I mean, that's probably a good sign.
But whatever.
Are
you done with Autumn?
Yeah, I'm done with Autumn.
Shout out my dogs, Bruce and Bella. No specific reason. Rest in peace, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who passed away earlier this week. We failed to say anything about that on Monday's show. We were a little spacey. Episodes of this podcast, the Ross Bolen Podcast, should be available on SoundCloud again for all our SoundCloud-preferring listeners. I think we fixed it. Sorry about the last month and a half. Speaking of which, if you don't want to listen to this show and you want to watch it as well, I guess you still have to... I'd prefer you don't watch on mute. So if you want to listen and watch, go to youtube.com/Bolen Media, youtube.com/Bolen Media. Every episode of every Bolen Media produced podcast that is not behind Patreon is there. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, the Ross Bolen Podcast. See Coles and I's shining faces. We wave at the camera. Hello to everyone on YouTube.
Can we get an ASL translator?
Bolen Media.
When we really blow up?
2026.
Like a lit one? Though that dances while they
2026.
Okay, I'll take that. Have you ever seen that video Wiz Khalifa?
Yeah, I've seen all the different rapper ones. They're all great. Okay, they're all great. We stream every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday live on Twitch at 7 p.m. Central Time. Twitch.tv/BossRollin is where you can find us playing Warzone, Fall Guys, other games like Among Us that we mix in to play with podcast listeners who are members of our Discord server, which is phenomenal. If you want to join the Discord server, come through for one of the Twitch streams. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. You can watch us, see our faces. We play the video game. We interact with the chat. We answer questions, and we have discussions. It's a great time. Twitch.tv/BossRollin. That's Ross Bolen with the B and the R reverse. Time for our first segment. The triumphant return of Jared Borislow. Teaser. As some of you know, every Friday we release an exclusive ad-free episode of this podcast on a platform called Patreon, which you can access at patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Well, last Friday, we had the honor of being blessed with the ever-influential Jared Borislow.
We were blessed virtually, kind of.
He's here. He was here, but he was in the other room in the studio to maintain safety.
He was in our room in spirit, and then physically in the other room.
Yeah.
And it was excellent.
former recurring guest co-host of this very show and co-host of Bolen Media's Westworld podcast, Freeze All Motor Functions, otherwise known as J-Bone, is Jared Borislow. Those of you who know Jared already know he is a lunatic. So Friday's episode on Patreon was even more unhinged than usual, and we wanted to share some of it with everyone in an effort to get more support from the general listenership of this show onto Patreon. A huge piece of what keeps Bolen Media in business. So we pulled a little, what is it? It's like 11 minutes?
Yeah,
a little under 11-minute chunk of the show, specifically discussing Hummers and people who drive them.
Oh, that type of Hummer. I'd already forgotten.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna play it for you now, and then we'll be back. Cole's made a point in the car earlier, and I'm sure this will go swimmingly and totally never divert from the original topic. Made a point in the car earlier on the way here as we passed a yellow Hummer. You have to be a very specific type of person to drive a Hummer, and I agreed with that. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, who is that? Because in when the Hummer came out, and I lived in Houston, Texas, it could have been anybody. Like, Roger Clemens had a Hummer. It was like a lot of suburban housewives with Hummers. Like,
Sure.
a lot of moms got Hummers instead of, the Expedition.
Whoa. Dude, you can't talk about moms getting Hummers.
Or
This
the
is
Suburban.
This is a show for children.
Okay. Or the Suburban or whatever. A lot of people went with the Hummer for a couple years there because they were hot. And people were like, hey, the fucking Hummer, this is crazy. Let's go. And then, obviously, over the past, 15, 20 years, people were like, wow, these are, first of all, just generally hideous vehicles. They're made to look, they're military vehicles. And then they're just not that nice. And then, in general, they're just gas guzzlers,
So
right? They're not great for the environment, right? So a lot of people moved away from the Hummer.
Correct. I will say this.
So who is this person still Hummering up in 2020?
I will say this. The H1 was tight. The very first one, the one that actually looked like a military vehicle.
With the back was a little truck thingy?
It was tight.
Bed?
Super tight. Very, very cool. I'm sure probably the worst of them for the environment, but very, very cool. Then you upgrade to what looks like a Matchbox car. The H2 and H3. They're like plastic shells, and they're really shit on the inside, and they don't drive well. The thing that gives it away to me, one, steering wheel, really skinny. That's the first sign to me. If you have a skinny steering wheel, shitty trucks. Trucks should have big, thick, girthy
Yeah, you
steering
shouldn't be
wheels.
able to touch your fingers around the steering wheel.
No,
right?
you want to be able to really grab it, take a
Yeah.
hold. You need a good grip.
It's got to be like an armrest on a couch.
And this one, the Hummer's way too thin. Also, what?
Ross is trying to look at each of us as we talk.
Plastic on the steering wheel. Second thing, the shifter, also way too skinny. And then it's got the fucking bulkhead thing at the top of it. Not ideal. Really ugly.
I want a shifter that's like a bowling ball. Like, you need to use both hands, take them off the wheel, use both hands to push it in any gear that you're trying to get into.
Yeah, like a truck. I've always wanted the big one that is connected to the floor.
Yeah.
Like a 6 feet to the floor, so you go,
Yeah, and you got like a big gulp in the way, and so you can't shift, and then you can't change gears, and then you blow out your transmission.
Fucking
Or,
big gulp's got to be in there, huh?
and like
God,
the
dude.
skull shifter knob,
I want to say that if you own a double gulp cup, like the plastic refillable one,
Yep.
I want to be your friend, because you are so committed to soda at that point. If you own and buy double gulps and refill them on a regular basis, like, you can't even fit that in a cup holder. That has to take out your passenger seat.
You know
need
what
to use a seatbelt to strap in your double gulp.
I'm
You know-
110% sure my boy Stuart has at least 2 of those.
Wow. You know how the most impressive thing about the double gulps to me is that you're making a commitment to one soda.
That's
For
just
128 ounces or something like that, you have made a commitment and married yourself permanently to that soda.
And if you're putting, I understand, I drink I drink 120 ounces every 3 days. If I fill it up, it gets just not flat enough by the end. It's like, if you put any ice in that, you're done. You're not
It's
going to
over.
drink watered down, slightly flat soda in 2 days.
All right, look.
No, you have to finish it in one day.
There are a lot of things that human beings do that I consider somewhere on the spectrum of self-destruction
Okay.
and semi-suicidal behavior on a really subliminal level. All right, it's like smoking cigarettes or dipping, because it's what are you doing?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know this is going to result in death. You fuck.
Yeah.
That's insane. getting 128 ounce big gulp soda is legit like one step below.
It honestly may be more than 128. Like, that was just a number that I came up with in my head.
I mean, the giant sodas from the gas
Yeah,
station.
the one that comes in a plastic refillable
like, have
thing.
you ever read one study about what soda does to your body?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's like legitimately worse for you than like fucking any. Like, the reason I lost so much weight when I quit drinking wasn't because I cut alcohol out of my life. It was because the amount of soda I was putting into me as a means, as a vessel to bring more liquor into me was so high that was where most of the weight fell off.
A lot of people, I saw this recently on social media. It's
Alcohol too, but
it's like drug dealers don't drink soda because they see that it has 32 grams of sugar in it, and they know what that means. 32 grams of sugar in a Coke.
wait, why drug dealers?
Because they understand grams.
how much a gram is.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're like, what the fuck?
32 grams of sugar in a Coke.
Yeah, it's kind of
okay, so
insane.
like cocaine dealers, ironically, specifically, have to be the most versed in this because that's the most powder,
Yeah.
gram to gram.
Yeah.
Because you think a gram of weed and you're like, well, this doesn't really help me with
Yeah, put that in
figuring
perspective.
out how much sugar that is.
True.
But when it's powder, like, that's so much sugar.
Yeah. Imagine snorting that much cocaine that's in a Coke
I've done it.
in one
I
night.
don't have
Dude,
to
let's do
imagine
the
it.
Coke cocaine
Oh, for
challenge
sure.
where you need to snort 32
Yeah,
grams
line
of
for
Coke.
line. You
Have
gotta
I
go.
done-
You gotta go line for line, sugar to Coke.
I've definitely
And if
done
you
3
can't
grams
keep up,
in one
it's
night.
done.
Yeah.
You're out of the fraternity.
We need to say, nobody do that.
Oh yeah,
Please.
yeah.
Hummer
yeah.
driver definitely more likely to do cocaine than per capita other car drivers. For
Yeah.
sure.
Also, Hummer driver guaranteed massive hog has to be.
Is it
You have to have at least a 10-incher to
See,
own a
that's
Hummer.
totally false. I think it's more of like
Russ.
maybe a Napoleon complex,
No,
like
that was,
I agree
that
with
was
Chris.
absolute.
Yeah.
sarcasm.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Oh, no, I actually agree with Chris.
actually
J-Bone
now I'm
thinks that they have
Yeah.
massive hogs.
No, I
now,
do.
now
I
I'm
do.
throwing it back though, and I'm thinking Napoleon complex guy usually gets like a jacked up truck. I don't know if that's Hummer guy.
I think that is Hummer
Maybe
guy. though.
Hummer guy is.
I
Hummer
think-
guy.
No.
No, I think Hummer guy is that to another level because I think I've seen Hummer guy with like. Hummer guy is 45 years old, probably has a cigarette boat for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely has a cigarette
Okay,
boat.
same guy.
Yeah, same guy.
But in Austin, that guy's weirder.
He's
It's
usually
different.
bald or actually no, he's usually bald, probably pretty jacked, honestly.
Shoulda hit
like
Keeps.
probably has some muscle tone on him. Not like tone, but
works
more
out
like
though. Like
bigger,
I put, one of
bigger.
my notes was meathead question
Meathead,
mark. Like,
yes. I would
if it's
say
a
meathead.
male, it's usually a meathead, right?
they listen to either hard rock
Like 90s
Alternative rock.
like Stained
Mhm.
and System of a Down,
or
and like
maybe they're starting to get into like 2012 dubstep.
EDM.
Yeah.
Yeah, original EDM. Like they just found
They just
Levels
found,
by
and they
Avicii,
think it's
yeah.
They just
sick.
found
Yeah.
Avicii.
They just found like Skrillex.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they their mind's been blown. They probably have aftermarket lights somewhere on the Hummer, and they're usually green.
They're in
purple,
AAA
or
for
blue.
sure.
They might have floodlights on the Hummer, too.
Or
right?
yeah, or a massive light bar for no
a
reason.
lot of them are divorced and in AA.
They've
I
got
would agree. They invite on their cigarette boat. They probably take it out with strippers from the local strip club that they've met over the weekend. Because
Okay.
I would say they probably go to the.
So you
strip
think
club.
Hummer guy's a full degenerate? Like
No. I think he
What do you
probably
mean? No.
has.
You just said he's hanging out with strippers on the weekend.
There's a difference
To
between
take
being
him
a
on his boat,
degenerate.
to take him on his boat.
He's not going to bang them.
Yeah,
Ross,
no,
come on.
no, he doesn't bang them. He just invites them out on the boat.
Yeah.
That's
It's like a power
That's
grab
like
for him.
the
Exactly.
most degenerate thing I've ever heard.
Does he have a winch or snorkel or both?
Okay, different guys. Snorkel guy, I think, is cooler than winch guy. Winch guy
What
has
is
a
a
winch, but
winch?
never uses the winch.
What's
Yeah.
a winch?
If you have a winch,
What's a
you
winch?
you've in a Hummer, you've never used the winch.
It's the hook that you can like take
Pull-
stuff out of mud.
Yeah. So if things get
What's
stuck,
a snorkel?
a snorkel is like
Because
so.
I thought we were talking about the
engines
aquatic
can't-
activity.
Yeah.
We
kind
are.
of.
Engines
Something
can't
to agree.
like so engines have to breathe, right? When they're underwater, if you're in like a deep, so if you're doing like trail driving or something like that,
Okay.
and you're in water,
It's
and
the thing that sticks up the top.
yeah, it's like basically an exhaust pipe, but it sucks in air.
What
So
a
do you
clown.
think snorkel guy? I know people who had
Snorkel guy
snorkels who never
camps.
used them though.
Snorkel guy camps though. He's never gonna use his snorkel, but he goes camping for sure.
And like maybe he'll have to ford a river at some point if there's like a flash flood.
Well, he sees.
this Oregon Trail?
Okay. Big thing about Snorkel Guy loves flash flood warnings because he may.
honey. Well, wait, he's divorced.
He may get to use his snorkel.
He tells his dog Rex. He's
No.
like, Rex, Daddy's going out in the fucking storm.
No, exactly. He texts in his group message. And he's like, hey, if anybody needs anything during the flash flood, like they'll get like 6 inches of rain.
There's a
but
hurricane
he's reaching out
2
to
states
let
over.
Yeah, no,
and this
and
dude's
he's
like,
driving.
he
He's
sees
turned
it on the
off
news and he's
Amber
like,
Alerts.
Mother of
He's
God.
turned off silver alerts, but he definitely has flash flood warnings on. He has every single weather notification on the Weather Channel app on his phone turned on.
Yes, it's 10:30 p.m. He's got work the next day.
Yeah.
The Weather Channel alerts him that there's a fucking hurricane 2 states over and there's going to be some flooding. And this dude hits the Hummer.
Snorkel
to
Guy
fucking
has
head
a
over
go
there.
bag. He has a go bag for sure.
He's got
He
notifications
may be a
for
prepper.
thunderstorm warnings too. Not even just flash flood warnings, just thunderstorm warnings.
Like a disaster prepper?
Yeah.
Who's the female driver of a Hummer though? Like if you're a woman and you drive a Hummer, I'm trying to think.
It's no, I got you. It's the girl. So you've been to like country concerts, right? Like big country concerts.
Unfortunately, yeah,
It's
growing up
the-
in Houston, the Houston Rodeo.
It's the girl from 2012 that wears the bell-bottom jeans with the bedazzled ass that are like weirdly dark wash.
Like she still wears these, or that's
yes,
what she
yes,
wore
no,
then?
still wears these.
Okay,
and,
I haven't
and,
seen
and
this
the
in
white
forever.
tank top. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? The
Yeah,
white
and-
like
yeah.
wife beater style tank top, but the girl wears it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I feel like-
the pleather seat too is scratched up from all the bedazzled jewels. Because
Exactly.
She's going like 50 over speed bumps.
That's
'cause
why
doesn't
she
care.
has
She's
the.
in a
That's
Hummer.
why she has the leather seat cover. I mean, the leopard seat cover that
Yeah.
goes over the actual seat.
Yeah.
to
She
protect
definitely see, but the good thing about her is she puts the steering wheel cover on to bulk it up, so she gets some props there. She's got some girth on the
She
wheel.
doesn't have such a skinny wiener. of a
Also,
wheel.
probably a leopard one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Or
and
cheetah.
also- Well, it doesn't match the
Her
leopard.
Hummer is a little bit older because she got the second Hummer in the divorce, and he got to pick the first Hummer, obviously. and he kept
Ah. So there you have it, folks. If you want the full conversation on Hummers and people who drive them, and the rest of the episode, the full shebang, go now to patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast and become an official dues-paying member of the RBP gang with a minimum pledge of just $5 a month to receive an ad-free exclusive premium episode every Friday.
Hey, you know what Friday's episode also marked?
Huh.
The return of fetishes.
Unfortunately, yes, with J-Bone comes. With great J-Bone comes great
Fetishes.
fetishizing.
Wow.
Yep.
I fetishize J-Bone. He fetishizes with Wisconsin
Wisconsin?
all the time. Yeah. I think that's the only thing that's on his mind 24/7 is Wisconsin.
He's
I
from
just get
Florida,
that
you know
vibe.
that?
Really?
Yeah.
Originally? Wait, why does he care so much about Wisconsin?
Oh, he only cares about the school.
Oh.
The literal,
okay.
the university.
I thought as a whole he was just
See?
all-encompassing.
Something about him reeks of Wisconsin
It does.
because I thought he was from there the
You know
first
what it is?
few years we knew each other, and he'd become very upset when I would say this.
It's the facial
He's going to be
hair.
very upset about this.
It's the facial hair. That's what it is. Very Wisconsin facial hair. And the way that he pairs it with
That's
his
more
hair
like Hills of West Virginia facial hair to me.
and the hat. Nah. Hills of West Virginia would have some more like girth to it.
Jared looks like a serial killer. Next segment.
And now, Ross Bolen's Animal of the Week.
Hey, we're doing an Animal of the Week. We've got an animal for you. It's a fun one. It's the star-nosed mole.
What a G. He's a beauty. I'll give him that.
Yeah. You know the drill. Pull it up on Google Images while you listen. And holy shitballs, look at the snozzle on this thing. It's like a real-life Pokemon, they say, Coles.
Yeah, if
That's
if
what
you're-
they say.
This is like if Diglett evolved, this is what he would evolve into. Remember the little
Oh, I remember Diglett.
okay. Yeah. I think he actually does
Pokemon, I
evolve.
got you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ross a big Pokemon guy.
No.
Oh,
No, but I got you.
okay.
Yeah.
What did you play Pokemon on the Game Boy back in the day?
Yes. Oh, hell, big time. And then also the playing cards were a huge fad
Really?
when I was in middle school.
Playing cards had kind of faded out by the time that I got into middle school,
See,
but
we
the
didn't give a
games
fuck.
were huge.
Did you watch like the show and shit?
Like kind of, but like only because it was on Saturday morning cartoons on like Cartoon Network, so I would watch it when it was on, but I was never like a
My brother was diehard. I didn't like
Really?
it. I didn't like it much. I don't know if he was diehard.
I liked the
I don't want
first
to
one.
speak for him. He enjoyed it more than I did. I'll say that.
I liked the first seasons with like Ash, Misty, and Brock. Brock with the spiky hair, dude. Like, he was the G. And Misty was probably my first love, if I had to guess. And her Starby thing.
She was a fucking
I can't
cartoon.
believe I remember this.
Fucking first love
I'm
was
shocked at
was
myself.
a fucking cartoon?
My second love was also a cartoon, Kim Possible.
Weird, dude. But it also explains a lot about you and the whole anime thing. Anyway, the star-nosed mole is a small mole found in moist, low areas in northern parts of North America. They have this crazy nose that you've seen now if you're looking at the photo of it. And the nose is not used for smelling. It's used for touch to feel around and hunt prey in darkness. And they eat faster than any other mammal on the entire fucking earth.
Faster than us?
Faster than any other mammal.
That's pretty impressive.
Faster than me. And I eat really, really fast.
Yeah.
Like, really fast.
I saw Ross knock out like an 8-ounce slab of salmon, mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese in like, I don't know, 1 minute and 40 seconds. It was genuinely impressive.
This thing says star-nosed moles can identify and eat food, bugs mostly, in less than 0.2 of a second, taking a mere 8 milliseconds to decide whether an item is edible or not.
What? That is incredible.
Milliseconds to determine if they can eat it or not.
How quickly does your eye blink? Because if it can figure out what's edible before I can blink my eye, I'm going to try to, transfer my soul into a star-nosed mole.
So they have these unbelievable nervous systems. That's how they pull off all that fast of information dispersion. And their star, as it's called, is the most sensitive known touch organ in any mammal, and the penis disagrees. I'm so sorry for that joke. The distinctive star organ on the mole's snout contains more than 100,000 nerve fibers, 5 times the number of touch fibers in the human hand, all packed into a space smaller than your fingertip. They're a touch organ with more than 25,000 minute sensory receptors, known as Eimer's organs, with which they feel their way around.
This is where, animals like this
Science
are when I wonder, how the hell did something evolve into this? Where did this start? How did we get here? How does this man have little fucking...
Are you saying you don't think evolution occurred, bro?
No, I do. I'm just saying, little specific
that what you're
circumstances like this is insane on how it occurs.
Nature is wild as fuck.
I'm looking up what it derived from.
That's why we do Animal of the Week, because the shit's crazy. Conversely, star-nosed moles are functionally fucking blind. They're colorblind and see very poorly.
Just colorblind or blind?
Not all the way blind, functionally blind, colorblind, and they see poorly.
Oh.
They can only see light and, slight movement.
It's like my father.
Ha! Ah-ha-ha! But they can smell underwater. Can your dad do that?
Not that I know of, but I've never asked, so I could give him a call.
Are your dad's front legs shovels?
No. That's for sure no.
That's a loss for Papa
Well,
Coles.
actually, to be fair, he doesn't have front legs, only 2 legs. But those aren't shovels either.
They're hind legs, you would say, though, on a human. If our legs had to be
a
front or back, they're definitely hind legs.
I mean, I wouldn't...
When you get down on all fours, where's the front? The side with the head.
Well, duh.
So these are
absolutely.
hind legs,
I would say
baby.
my left leg is my front leg, and my right leg is my hind leg, though. If I had to say.
That's not... What?
What? What do you mean what?
Unbelievable. Anyway, they can smell underwater.
Well, what do you smell underwater? I wonder how that works.
It's same as above water, dude.
Hey guys, don't try smelling underwater. You'll probably drown. Just to put that PSA out there.
I feel like I've smelled underwater before. Like I've smelled like my own fart underwater.
No, you smell your fart that was underwater when you come back above water.
I don't
and it's
know,
escaped
man. I
above
feel
water.
like I might be a small-nosed mole.
You do? I mean,
Star-nosed, excuse me.
I see the family resemblance.
Star-nosed. Familial.
Wait, I want to finish looking up where the star-nosed
So
mole
anyway,
evolved from.
they use these shovel-like front limbs they've got to tunnel through soggy marsh-like areas, often diving and swimming for food, digging shallow tunnels up to 100 feet in length. Very long tunnels, very long. Many people are saying they're the longest tunnels you've ever seen underwater for foraging through marshes and swamps. And they've been known to blow bubbles into the water and then re-inhale them through their nose in order to sniff for prey, making them the first mammal known to smell underwater, as I said. And that's your Animal of the Week. The incredibly bizarre-looking, star-nosed mole that can smell underwater, but is functionally blind.
The star nose itself kind of looks like a little face. It's got like 2 little, and then...
And it does look like it would go...
Definitely.
It would make the noise that what's his name on...
From the Futurama.
Futurama does.
That's
I
going
want
to
to say
kill me.
Quigley. But
So many
that's-
people are screaming at their radio right now.
I want to say Quigley, but
And
that's
phones.
definitely The Simpsons.
They hate us. Yeah, it's definitely not Quigley.
Well, now I have
wanted to say
I have,
Feidelberg,
I have
but-
to Google it. But
No, it's
damn,
definitely not that.
Where's the IMDb? You want to say Feidelberg?
That's what I wanted to say. I think it's something close to that.
Don't know, but I'm definitely beating your ass on the Googling here.
Oh, I was still Googling
I know
where
that for sure.
So National Wildlife Federation calls the star-nosed mole a neurological wonder
Is
because
it
of
Hermes?
its no.
Bender, Linda, Morbo, Amy Wong, Scruffy. Where the fuck is this guy? Why is he not one of the top 5 characters listed? Philip J. Fry, Bender,
Zoidberg.
Zoidberg. Good God.
What did you look up?
That took forever. Zoidberg is listed so far down on the IMDb, if at all. Zoid.
Did you go to the IMDb? If you just
Dude,
Google
he's
Futurama characters, he's like 4th in the list.
he's not on the IMDb series cast.
I don't think Ross is on the right show. I don't know where he is. Are you watching?
I'm on full cast and crew of Futurama on IMDb. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Unbelievable.
That's what
yes,
this
but
thing
that's
looks like
where,
it would make this noise.
Actually, that has to be the inspiration for Zoidberg. Look at his little bloop.
It might be.
We're going for it.
Very well could be.
Same family tree. That's where Star-Nosed Mole evolved from.
From Zoidberg.
Yeah.
A cartoon.
He inversed himself, Tennant style, went back in time and devolved into the Star-Nosed Mole.
Inversed?
That's what it's called, right?
No.
Inversion?
Oh, yeah. Inversion. Invert yourself. RBP 328 is also brought to 334 is also brought to you by Bespoke Post. As we all settle into this new normal version of summer, Bespoke Post is here with customized box of awesome collections for guys, guaranteed to upgrade your life. Right now, some of my favorite boxes they've got are the Weekender, which is an incredible Weekender bag for your safe travels as we go into the wintertime. And also they've got the Bright, where you get a pair of sunglasses, a collapsible shot glass, a pocket comb. They've got a bunch of good boxes. Go check out Bespoke Post by going to boxofawesome.com. Enter the code RBP when you check out, of course. And to get started at boxofawesome.com, you quickly take this little quiz. Your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel at any time. Each box costs only $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com. Enter the code RBP at checkout. Again, that's boxofawesome.com. Code RBP for 20% off your first box. Next segment, Blood Cancer Awareness Month. So Chris and I received a message from a listener named Seth regarding Blood Cancer Awareness Month, and we wanted to share that message with everybody because it's important, and I'm going to read it. It says, "Hey Chris, hope you're doing well, man. Big time fan of RBP here. I wanted to start off by saying how great you've been on the podcast so far. You bring so much energy and positivity to the episodes, and it's absolutely inspiring. I was just listening to RBP 332, where y'all had the segment about National Suicide Prevention Month. While suicide prevention is such an amazing platform, unfortunately it tends to overshadow something that I connect with very personally. This past February, I was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, and my life was flipped upside down. I had just gotten married only 2 months prior and was in the middle of my second year of law school. It hit me hard. I went from a perfectly healthy 23-year-old to somebody who is immunocompromised and battling cancer constantly. Couple that with the pandemic hitting only 3 weeks later, and my life was completely halted. September is also National Blood Cancer Awareness Month. I would never have known this prior to this year. My diagnosis has completely shifted my outlook on the world, and I want to do my part to help. I was wondering if y'all could do a short shout-out at the beginning of the show or something like that, asking for people to donate to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, LLS, or just ask for some type of awareness. The only reason I found my diagnosis is because I had the flu in December and then went back in January for a checkup where they noticed my white blood cell count was outrageously high. I'm not one that typically likes to go to the doctor, so had I not come down with the flu, I likely would not have discovered my cancer until my condition was much worse. I guess my best advice to anyone would just be to go in for regular checkups. You never know what's going on inside your body." Very cool of Seth to send us this message and bring our awareness of Blood Cancer Awareness Month to the forefront so that we could share it with y'all. Coles, you had some more information here from Seth?
Yeah, absolutely. Just some simple stuff on the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It's a really wonderful foundation with a lot of different outreach and resources as well. So if you have the means to, go donate to them if possible. And if you don't, at least read up on what to look for, symptoms, conditions, anything like that. Any way to make yourself healthier and, be able to look out for people around you.
And go to the doctor once a year.
And go to the doctor, absolutely.
At least.
You definitely want to check in on yourself.
If you've got health insurance, it probably allows you at least one free doctor visit per year.
It's terrifying.
Or covered. I won't say free.
It's terrifying, the thought that you could be going through something as serious as leukemia and not even notice until you had some sort of test done.
Yeah, it's a sneaky one, man. My mom lost her ex-boyfriend to, it wasn't, he's an ex because he passed. Lost her boyfriend to leukemia several years ago. And it was quick, too, man. It was very quick hitting. And
it's very progressive, absolutely. It works its way through your body very quickly. But
So Blood Cancer Awareness Month, leukemia, lymphoma, give to LLS if you can, lls.org.
My mom actually ran marathons for Team in Training, which is the foundation to raise money for LLS through running and marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. The goal is you sign up, and then by running date, you have to have collected X amount of donation money.
Oh, nice.
And then that goes towards, I think it has something to do with if you hit a certain time, people can agree to donate more. You know what I mean? Like how people do the track fundraisers where it's I'll pledge $1 for every lap you run. Same kind of idea, but she did that for years and years and years, and it was a really, really supportive community with a lot of really incredible people, and got to meet a lot of survivors of leukemia and lymphoma.
Nice.
And the struggles that they've gone through. Shouts to you, Seth, for toughing through this shit, man. We're here for you. You got your people, and keep fighting the good fight.
Indeed, and thank you for reaching out, and thanks for sending us the message so we could do a little segment on Blood Cancer Awareness Month. Appreciate you again, and prayers up for you and your family as well. Next segment. Now it's time for hashtag sports. So let's get a little sports update. Some sports stories. The first is not a good one, but it is sort of funny in a horrible way. It's about the Chargers team doctor tragedy from CBS Los Angeles. Report. Chargers team doctor accidentally punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung with painkiller injection before game. So, the whole reason there was a quarterback change before the Chargers game against the Chiefs this past Sunday, turns out was a bit of a whoopsie. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, it seems the doctor administering the shot of a painkiller to Tyrod Taylor pregame for him to be able to go out and play, which is a thing that we know many NFL players undergo, painkillers before the game.
Absolutely.
And they punctured his lung. So that was a thing. He couldn't go out and do the football because the doctor put the painkiller shot in his fucking lung.
Literally in his lung.
He's going to be fine, just for the record.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why Justin Herbert got the start against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the defending Super Bowl champions. And obviously that's a big game for the Chargers. And Herbert played well in the loss.
Which is kind of a long-lasting implication there. If Herbert goes on to continue playing well and Tyrod is no longer needed as the starting quarterback in LA.
Well, if Tyrod starts to slip, they'll be quicker to look back to this guy now because they've seen a little bit of what he's got.
Well, I believe they've announced that Herbert will be starting this weekend versus my Carolina Panthers again. So I'm saying if he does exponentially well or very, very well, and continues to play very well, LA takes on his luscious lettuce as a look of the land and becomes Justin Herbert stands 24/7. As Tyrod Taylor, I'll be pissed.
It sounds like he's out indefinitely.
Tyrod?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'd be suing the shit out of that doctor, I'm going to be honest.
No, you can't.
Can't?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Because you sign the fuck of that right away when you join the team. And when you have any doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's really hard to sue a doctor, bro. Really hard.
What do you think is worse, this or the scabies incident?
The scabies incident.
I don't think so.
No,
I think it's the biggest
in terms
disaster.
of financial implications, this is much worse.
I would agree with that.
Much worse.
But I would say in the medical community, this probably is the biggest disaster in medicine since the scabies disaster.
I still think in terms of medical, my suffering was higher than Tyrod's will be.
Emotionally.
But the price paid financially for this mistake will be much higher than it was for mine, which was near $0. Mine was an emotional tax that I paid.
But
A
Tyrod was
precious
just signed
tax.
via contract to the Chargers this offseason. So, I mean, it brings about a very interesting scenario. It's a 2-year...
That doctor's fucking fired.
Yeah, he's definitely fired. It's a 2-year, $11 million contract. So it's going to bring about some interesting talk on Chargers quarterback if they both continue... Or, well, if Herbert continues to play well. He looked impressive versus the Chiefs.
In other news, Bill Belichick is falling apart like everyone else in 2020. He showed up for today's press conference looking like he was attacked by a pack of raccoons.
No, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Cam Newton is now helping him decide his iconic fashion choices behind the scenes. He's just making Bill look fly. I mean, that was like the Russ-style shirt on his body. He basically wore the same thing that Russ wore it. Nobody gave him shit.
Who's Russ?
Westbrook.
Oh.
Remember his ripped shirt, streetwear from that when he was hurt?
Sure.
I know you remember.
Yeah, this isn't that, though. This wasn't like a designer $4,000 Givenchy ripped shirt. This
That
was
you
a
know.
Patriots hoodie that looked like it was chewed on by a pack of raccoons.
Or maybe he forgot to put out the mothballs.
That is in all likelihood the case. And this is just like a 10-year-old fucking hoodie. But the guy, look at just Google Bill Belichick right now, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. He's always been known for his fashion or lack thereof, but this is just such next level not giving a fuck. The look, to me, embodies 2020 as a whole. He looks in need of a home.
He kind of looks like a character from The Last of Us. Or somebody... he does kind of look like in need of a home.
He does. Because he's kind of portly and short, too.
Well, he doesn't, He's just got the face of,
He's scruffy.
He's been through it. Also, his hair probably could have been a bit better in this circumstance.
In all circumstances.
It was like the comb over, but then it started to fall apart. So
Bill not known for his fashion, his hair, his hygiene, probably.
I'm still
Doubt
standing.
he's ever put a fucking lotion on his face in his life.
I'm still standing the hoodie. I think it was a cognitive fashion decision, and he's an icon for it. Honestly, quite frankly, I look up to the man.
Fair enough. The
his
NBA
fashion
playoffs
decision.
continue with the conference finals. We've got two decent matchups, I guess. Fuck it, whatever. Nuggets, Lakers, Celtics, Heat. Heat are up 2-1. Lakers are up 2-1. I still can't watch basketball. I haven't gotten over the Rockets' loss yet, and losing Coach D'Antoni is just too much. I'm sorry. But in hockey, hey, look at me acknowledging hockey. And even more shockingly, Dallas sports. The Dallas Stars and Tampa Bay Lightning are currently competing in the Stanley Cup Final, knotted 1-1. They play Game 3 tonight. And I'm on Stars money line at plus 135, 2.5 units on that hoe with our sports betting sponsor, MyBookie, MyBookie.ag, who will double your deposit when you use the code RBP at sign up. And wouldn't you know it, this episode is also brought to you by MyBookie. Winning season has returned at MyBookie. Winning season means doubling your first deposit. Winning season means Survivor, Super Contests, and Squares at MyBookie. Insane player props, epic bonuses, the craziest cross-sport wagers at MyBookie.ag, and most importantly, winning season means watching live sports and betting live sports all season long. Using the promo code RBP, when you sign up, you'll double your first deposit now at MyBookie.ag. New players get up to $1,000 in free play. Stipulations apply. It's a no-brainer. Your winning season begins today only at MyBookie, MyBookie.ag. Use the code RBP when you sign up. Get yourself some action on the Stars tonight with me if you want. If you get it out in time. I don't know if the pod will be out in time. The pod is strong. But plus 135 money line. Just so after they win this game, I can take the credit. Because last time we gave out picks on this show, I believe we went 2-0.
We've been doing pretty well on picks on the show, but I went
Off the show.
0 for 5 this weekend. I'm taking a week off from
I'm
sports
done betting
betting.
baseball and talking about it.
That's what started my
longer
run.
exists to me.
I bet 2 baseball games. I lost both, and then after that, I went 0-5 the weekend on football.
Fucking baseball, dude. Last
ruined
night I
my
had the
mojo.
White Sox money line.
Yeah. What was the score?
They lost on a walk. So I believe in extra innings they took the lead on a home run, and I was like, yes. And then the other team hit a walk off with was multiple run home run
Didn't
anyway,
go well.
it ended the way that I didn't want it to end. They fucking lost.
Yeah.
They did not
Well, remember
cash
last
that
week?
ticket for me.
Remember last week when you were like, "Hey, Chris, I'm never betting on regular season baseball again."
I did it again though.
Yeah.
I did it again, and I thought it was gonna work, and it didn't. It didn't.
Well,
It didn't. But hopefully it'll work for you at MyBookie.ag when you use the code RBP. Before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, you've been saddled with 3 legal obligations as a result of having listened to this entire podcast, the first of which is to rate and review. Wherever you listen, rate and review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. I don't know. If there's a rating and review system there, rate and review. If there's not, just do it on Apple. Download the Apple app for us, or go on your computer and log in and make a little Apple account and rate and review. Number 2, tell one person, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, any one individual that you think might enjoy the Ross Bolen podcast. Share the show with them. Keep the show growing. That is how we grow, by word of mouth from you, our listenership who enjoys us. You know you heard about this show from somebody who heard about it from somebody. That's always how podcasts get around. So fulfill that legal obligation and share the show with one person this week. Then you can move on to number 3, which is to support our sponsors who support us and keep us in business. This week, we had 3. Bombas.com/RBP for 20% off your first purchase on Bombas. Huge. Go to boxofawesome.com. Use the code RBP for 20% off your first box. Huge. And, of course, MyBookie.ag, code RBP, to double your deposit bonus up to $1,000. And enjoy yourself some sports betting action. Those are your 3 legal obligations. Fulfill all 3. Check all 3 boxes. I'll call off the dogs. Won't have to see you in court, and we can all live long and prosper. Follow the show on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, where every day we fill up our story with photos and videos sent in by you, our listenership, otherwise known as the RBP gang, that Chris and I collect mostly through our Snapchats. My Snapchat at WRBolen. Cole's yours?
At Chris_Coulson.
Also follow us on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. We are on Facebook.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBolen, at WRBOLEN. And as I said at the top of the show, Twitch.tv/BossRollin. We are live Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, every week at 7 p.m. Central, and sometimes on other nights as well. Follow us on social media to get updated on when we go live on Twitch. It's just another place to interact with us and get more entertainment out of Bolen Media and Ross and Chris. And Chris, where can we follow you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Q0ULS. You can find me on Instagram at ChrisSC99. And you can find me on Snapchat, again, at Chris_Coulson. That's COULSON.
Could everybody bomb the Instagram guy that has, or is it Twitter or Instagram that
It's
you need?
Instagram.
Instagram guy that has at Coles.
The issue is he's private.
What is it?
so
At
you-
QU
At Q0ULS.
0ULS. Everybody just follow this dude. Everybody follow him in droves and start messaging him if you can. Do
Yeah.
that, because we're trying to get this Instagram account for Coles.
I would love it. Really badly. I
Check
wonder
out-
if there's a QOULS. Keep going. Sorry.
Check out Bolen Media's television and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever RBP is available. OCC, as it is known right now. This week we covered the Emmys. The results of last night's Emmys, or earlier this week's Emmys. Had a lot of fun talking about it. We're doing Lovecraft Country next week. The Boys Season 2 next week. We're getting back into Yellowstone the week after that. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles available wherever you listen to the Ross Bolen Podcast. And that will do it for RBP 334, produced by Myrriah Gossett and Mike Moody Garcia of Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. We will be back on Monday with RBP 335. And, of course, before that, Friday on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast with another exclusive premium ad-free episode for dues-paying members of the RBP gang, pledging their support to keep the podcast alive, growing, showing. Minimum of just $5 monthly on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Come through, support the show. Get more RBP every week on Patreon. You are not alone. Podmen get paid. Respect Mr. Park. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Peace be with you, Coles.
And
also
also
with
with
you.
you.